Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Have you ever heard the phrase, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't? Not exactly sage advice to give to someone when they're in a relationship with someone who is self-medicating using drugs and alcohol. There has been emotional abuse, and it's never going to get better. It is just continuing to get worse. And yet, the young woman reaching out saying, what do I do with this? That's exactly what she was told. Don't rock the boat. Oh, there's the reinforcement. And the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. That's the reward. At least you know the pain you've got now. What if you take action to make your life better and it only gets worse? So think about a painful problem that you've had. Maybe it's with your weight. Could be with your finances. It doesn't have to be a love relationship, although that's what I'm beginning with. It might be not being recognized in your career, maybe taken advantage of, because that's today. What award would you win for your painful problems? Because we only keep in our life the habits, the patterns, the processes, and the results that we get rewarded for, even though if those rewards are in a dysfunctional way. By the way, the young woman that I was telling you about just a moment ago was actually me reaching out after late 20s, early 30s, after I had been married not quite 2 decades, and reaching out to my mom going, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. And that was the advice that she gave me. See, you've got to consider the source. I was asking a woman who had actually been in an abusive relationship for decades, and I was asking her for advice, for mentorship. She can't give what she did not possess. Thankfully, life is so much better for her now. Unfortunately, my dad had to pass away for her to really begin to live life the way she wanted it. Mine, yeah, my life, I had to have a piece of it die before I could move on. I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to take the experiences that you have now and take those life lessons and turn them into living your legacy, bringing yourself out at your very best. But in order to do that, we have to understand why you keep going back and experiencing these problems. And it's because you've been programmed to do it. Oh, by the way, if you're new to my world, Dawn Ferguson, certified hypnotist. I'm also a certified instructor through the National Guild of Hypnotists. I train others to do this, but I've put together a system that every time we get together, I'm training you in a small piece of it. It's called Wounded to Wealth. And so I want you to experience being empowered. It's what's known as transfer of authority, where you're taking the problems that you've experienced in life simply because you've been programmed and conditioned to experience those problems, and you're not getting rid of them. You're using them as a foundation to build on to take your life to the next level. So to do that, let's get started by knowing that everything you have in your life, everything that you keep in your life, is because of three things. Number one, you have to be willing. Number two, there has to be reinforcement. And number three, there has to be a reward. Now let's talk about the willing part, because I know you're already going, Dawn, I am not willing to have any more of this BS in my life. By the way, BS stands for belief system. Well, no, you're not now. But at some point, when you didn't have the critical factor fully developed, usually by age 8, you were an open container for other people to pour their BS into you, their belief systems. Now, here's a sidebar on this. If you look at any author, if you look at any coach, if you look at any mentor, guide, leader, that actually empowers others, what they've done is they've taken that BS and they've used it as manure for their garden of growth. I want you to be able to do the same thing. You're not going to get rid of it. And let me stop right now. I saw something just yesterday that said, quit complaining for 24 hours and watch how your life transforms. No, that's not what's going to work. Because the pain is not going to go away. You've got to give the pain a purpose to actually support you in moving to the next level. So if you deny the negativity, because everything is created as a whole, there's progress and there's pain. If you deny the negativity and, only speak wonderful things, your body is going to wind up expressing that negativity for you, because the body never lies. So go ahead and be just all positive and wonderful and unicorns farting rainbows of glitter. Glitter is herpes of the craft world. Okay, so everything is unicorn, and you will wind up at some point in your solar plexus area where you keep your personal power. You're going to wind up with problems there. Stomach's going to hurt, acid reflux, intestinal problems. Yeah, because you're suppressing and repressing. The idea is not to only speak positive. It's to go, you know what? This is cruddy right now, but I'm going to find a way to use it. And my life is going to be better because of it, because now I have a BS detector. Remember, belief system that I can then turn on with other people to know that if they should be coming into my world or if they should be going out. So I've got that detector, and I'm going to use what's happening in my life. I'm not going to suppress, repress, or deny. Denial. It's not just a river in Egypt. Okay, so everything we experience is because we have to be willing. Well, you were willing at one point because the critical factor to keep all of this out wasn't developed yet. That doesn't start developing till around age 8. And then it fully develops by age 13. And the lid comes down on your trash can that everybody's been dumping stuff into. And this is the reason why you can't tell teenagers anything, because they're trying to sort out everything they received the first 13 years, approximately. So you were willing. Now that you're an adult, yes, you're willing again, but you've got to get the cooperation of the powerful part of your mind known as the subconscious, which runs all of your habits and patterns. And success or failure, repeated. Hey, it's a habit and pattern. You've got to have the subconscious where it is willing to go along with the suggestions that you're giving it. And the subconscious says it will not tolerate a void, won't put up with it, which is the reason why denial doesn't work. To get the subconscious's agreement, you have to say, okay, well, let's use what we've already learned. And then there's reinforcement. Reinforcement comes through what we're running from. And almost everybody is running from the lack of love. They're running from the lack of acceptance. They're running from the lack of their own self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence. And so if someone comes along and says, well, we'll give you acceptance, but it's acceptance because you have to be like us. You have to have problems like us. Remember whenever I said, don't rock the boat? Yeah, if you're like us, then we'll take you in. And if you're not, we're going to shun you or shame you into either being like us or you're going to suffer the consequences. So there's the reinforcement. What do you have to do now? What are you consciously choosing? You need to choose reinforcement from people who have an experience, who have a level of success that you want. I know better now to ever go to a woman who's in an abusive relationship and ask her for marriage advice. She's going to tell me everything to stay away from if she's able to give me anything good at all. But therein lies the challenge. The mind only has two directions it can go, and one at a time. It's either away or towards. So you're either moving away from pain or you're moving towards progress. Well, if you're moving away from pain, oh, don't do this, don't do that, then your powerful mind is going to find everything you should be avoiding, and you are never going to get to the destination of turning your dreams into reality. It's just not going to happen because you're too busy finding everything that needs to be avoided. But in order to move into progress, you have to give your pain a purpose, which is the reason why I fell in harmony with hypnosis, because it accesses that part of your mind in a way that you cannot do consciously. And then it says, okay, find all the people, find all the places, find all the things that are going to reinforce who I really am. See, the law of polarity says everything is created as a whole. For there to be up, there's down. For in, there's out. Front, back. For a problem, there's a solution. For problem, there's a purpose. And so we access the law of polarity in the subconscious mind and we say, hey, we've got another piece to this. It's just been lying dormant. It hasn't been activated. So let's turn it on and then let's see what it needs for that nourishment to grow. I'll give you another insight. Over the weekend, I let two of my long-term friends know that I wasn't going to be engaging in a relationship with them any longer. Yeah, I broke up with two of my friends. Almost sounds kind of high school, doesn't it? But see, what most people would do is just gradually pull away and avoid them and, maybe not return phone calls or text messages or being really slow. Remember what I just said a moment ago about avoidance? We need to move into progress. Now, the reason why I decided to do this is because the values that they have and the values that I have are no longer harmonious with each other. Doesn't mean that anybody's wrong or anybody's right. It just means that we're no longer a fit. And every conflict that you will ever have with another person within yourself is going to be a value conflict. And so this has been going on quite some time. It wasn't something to where, oh, they did something and I didn't like it. No, it's been developing for months and months. And some people would say, well, couldn't you have a talk with them and have them see your viewpoint? No, because I'm here to have people celebrate my success when they're my friends, not to be their leader, their mentor, their guide. That's my career. It's not what I do in relationships. They should plug into me and get the nourishment they need, but I should be able to plug in back. And if I can't plug into somebody, that means that I've moved into the space where I am a dysfunctional giver, and dysfunctional givers only attract takers. Again, no one was right, no one was wrong. It's just that the values no longer coincided. So I had to let them go, but that meant that it created a space, an opening, and the subconscious mind will not tolerate a void. So I had to program it to say, all right, now go out and find the people that are going to reinforce us. Go out and find the people that are going to celebrate our success. I no longer want to be the big fish in the little pond. I want to be the little fish in the big pond. By the way, the subconscious mind accepts suggestions through symbolism. Now, you can take a koi, really fancy, expensive goldfish, right? And you can put it in a small pond and it will only grow as large as the pond will allow it. But if you take it out and you put it into a lake, oh my gosh, it can go from several inches to several feet. And so that's the next stage of my life, is that I'm moving into where people are going to reinforce me because they're the level above me. So you got to turn the subconscious mind on for the reinforcement, because right now it is looking for reinforcement through other people based on the programming you accepted when you were younger. Those painful problems that you should have, because everybody in our household has a problem with weight. Everybody's got a problem with money. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. You're living the legacy that was passed on by your family, not their fault. They were doing the best they could with what they had. You accepted it, but now you're willing to upgrade it. But you keep putting people into those different roles to recreate the original problem. You're never going to get past that. So you have to look for the people that are going to reinforce who you really are. That can be with friends, that can be with guides and mentors, but it can't just be, I'll be honest with you, it's not enough just to listen to a podcast. By the way, woohoo, shout out to all my listeners. Stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire podcast. Make sure you hang around to the very end. I got something special for you guys. Okay. So it's not enough just to read a book or listen to a podcast, because none of that can customize what you need to experience to you and your unique strengths, talents, and abilities. STA. Strengths, it's what you've learned through all the BS that you've been through. Talents, you were predisposed to something, but it needs to be activated by putting you in the right environment. Strength, talent, yeah, that's a ability. Talent, you're born with. You are born with something to be absolutely magnificent at. But you don't know what those things are. You've only been told what other people need you to be for them to be okay. By the way, when I reached out to my two friends and I said, I can't go any further, they were like, hey, can we talk about it? Can we? No. Now that was me. Why? Because I know they were trying to reinforce me staying in the relationship. Now maybe I'll go back to it at some point, but I'm not open to conversations that are going to keep me stuck and struggling. I'm not even going to entertain them. Oh, just be nice. Nice is a dysfunctional value. Being kind, compassionate, yes. Being nice will get you in trouble every single time, because it is where you are denying you and what you need to experience so someone else can feel okay. All right, so reinforcement. Then there's the reward, because you only keep what gets rewarded, even if that reward is dysfunction. So let's look at the core four and how you can get rewarded. She tries everything. And just nothing seems to work. Could be with diet, with exercise programs. Oh, look at how hard she's working. Oh my gosh. So sad. Must be genetics. No, this level you've been programmed to hand your power away to someone or something else, and then it's going to let you down. Yep. So instead, what's the reward here? Learning what does work based on who you are, being able to create a level of certainty for yourself, but that means you are going to need to fail. Fail faster. Out of every 10 things you do, 2 are going to work, 8 don't. The average person stops at, I think it's like 1.2. Oh my goodness. In fact, when someone comes to work with me privately in hypnosis, usually they've tried 8 other things. But what they've been doing is trying to make themselves fit those 8 other things. No, it should all be customized to you. All right. So that's one reward, is getting all the attention for all the things that you keep doing and just nothing works. Or how about this? Things do work, but success continually slips through your fingers. It's like you're a drama mama. You got that black cloud following you around. As my mom would like to say, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Yeah, she was a wealth of wisdom. Love you, Mom. She was only giving what she could. And when people are just wrapped up in pain, they can't give you any way to get progress. Okay. So this is where the black cloud follows you around and you cannot hold on to success. You get it, but then it slips through your fingers because you have been taught rejection, that everywhere you go, you're going to be told no. And there's a part of you that wants to obtain some power for itself. So you're going to be the one to reject. But because you don't know how to reject anything coming in and causing you problems, no, that's what you've been taught to experience, you're going to reject success. Yes, we do it to ourselves. There was a time in my life where I could have walked into a room, and if there was anybody in that room that abused alcohol, abused drugs, abused others, man, we would be on each other's radar in a heartbeat. Now, and the successful people, it was like I was invisible. Now I walk into a room and it's the success, it's the progress, it's others seeking out others. It's the law of transmutation, where everything is looking to upgrade, to transmute to the next level. That's what I resonate with. And the abusers don't even notice me because I'm no longer at that frequency. Now, people call it the law of attraction. You attract what you are, not what you want. And there's science behind this. It's known as your reticular activating system. You will notice what you're programmed to notice. And so if you're programmed to notice all the hot messes in life, that's what you'll wind up with. And if you're programmed to notice all the people that are going to the next level and go, hey, you know what? It's more fun when we're with others. Come on along. Yeah, then that's what you're going to pay attention to. Okay, so this is the level of variety because the brain seeks out stimulus. So it's either going to be through painful problems and being a drama mama, or it's going to be the freedom of choices where you get to ride that wave of overwhelm. Instead of being swamped by it, you get to learn to use it. Or maybe your reward is that you must be a martyr for everybody. You've got to sacrifice for them. Or savior. You've got to save them. This is the level of self-worth. And the reward can be how much you have to give up or how they just can't function without you. And this is when you get dysfunctional kudos of, oh, thank you so much. I don't know where I'd be without you. No, because they just they're on that bottom level that we were talking about. They just handed you all their power, which means you go away and now they're not able to have success and they are going to cling to you. They're energy vampires. And you're walking around with all these leeches all over you. Or you're looking for someone who cannot function on their own to get your self-worth. What you really want as the reward is significance. And this is where you're making the world a better place because of the BS that you've been through. And now you are turning it into fertilizer, not just for your garden, but for others. You know, this is typically the level of coaches and hypnotists and therapists. If they're dysfunctional, they're going to keep their people disempowered. And yes, they're out there. If they're healthy, they're going to say, you know what, don't put me on the pedestal. Don't even put yourself on the pedestal. It's a long way down. Put the system, put the process on the pedestal. I'm going to empower you with it. And so always be looking to move up a level to the next pedestal that's got the next step to help you reveal who you really are. Why don't you want to put yourself on the pedestal? It's going to be a long way down whenever you decide that you fall. And we're all going to fall. We're all going to fail. So, okay, put the system up there and then say, look at what I'm learning and I'm implementing. That's so important. Look at what I'm implementing in life. And then you're modeling for others, not with what you say, but with what you do. There's an old adage, I can't hear what you're saying because your actions speak louder than words. And this is where you're making the world a better place because you're becoming better in it. That is the reward when you get to model for others. And then the last level is a level where you were taught to settle for the crumbs of connection. You really wanted love. Remember how I said we all want acceptance? You really wanted it, but it was conditional. It was conditional on you holding yourself back on what you needed so someone else could be okay. And you did it. Maybe it was one of those first significant other relationships. Could have been a coach, a teacher. Could have been an older sibling who felt threatened by you, even a parent or a grandparent. But you decided not to shine so they wouldn't feel bad, thinking that they'd love you, and they didn't. They still didn't give you love the way you needed to. And so your subconscious mind learned to accept the reward of the crumbs of whatever was going to be left over. This is the level where people experience what's known as imposter syndrome. They're like, oh, I look so successful on the outside and I feel so cruddy on the inside. That's because there's a younger you that is still looking for the love, and the older you, motivated for the reinforcement of something on the outside, is thinking the career, the job, the family with the kids, the nice house, the car, the vacation is going to do it, and it's not. That younger you was not allowed to do something that they were absolutely phenomenal at. It's time we gave her permission to be who she really is in a healthy and functional way. That's one of the things I do with hypnosis, is we tap in to the younger you and we find out what she really needs instead of always trying to suppress and repress with things on the outside. That's the reward. You giving her what she's missed all these years. It is amazing how quickly your life will upgrade when that happens. So you're willing. I mean, you've stuck with me this far today, right? Reinforcement. You're beginning to understand that everything in your environment, the people, places, and things, is here as a reinforcement to who you've been, but not necessarily who you really are. And so explaining to the powerful mind that it is supposed to find everything in your environment to assist you with this. And then going for the reward that you will continue to take action and you find a way to use the failures so you can get to success quicker, faster, and easier because you learned the lesson from them, that you have freedom for fulfillment, that you learn to optimize your emotions, that your significance in the world comes from the fact that you're taking everything that you've been through and you're actually using those lessons in a way that you're modeling for others how they can do the same thing. And you're giving yourself the love that you've been craving all these years that could never be satisfied by anything outside of you. All right. So, what's your next step for your happy ending? If this makes sense to you, if you're like, yes, so what would it be for us to actually work together in hypnosis to make this happen quicker, faster, and easier? Reach out to me. 1-636-699-7791. And we'll have a conversation to make sure I'm the right fit for you. See, I know hypnosis can assist you in revealing who you really are. I just don't know if I'm the one that should be assisting you. And there's also a bonus for anyone who works with me privately. I'm getting ready to announce the spring workshop. It's called Success Summit. And for the first time ever, I'm going to be teaching my Wounded to Wealth system. So it's wealth in any area of your life. And this has been a system that I've exclusively taught to my other certified hypnotists that I am now going to teach you. If you have a private session with me in the month of February, I'm going to be adding on a bonus ticket to this event. And it's virtual, so you can attend from anywhere. Okay. So 1-636-699-7791. Willing, reinforcement, and reward. Without those three things in place, success will not be sustainable. It will slip through your fingers and you will continually be on the roller coaster that takes you from the pit to the peak and then back down to the pit again because you have not learned how to bring yourself out at your very best, no matter what's going on in your world. I would be honored if I could assist you with making that happen. Thank you so much, and blessings on your brilliance, because the world right now needs your light more than ever.